Well, hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another video from Overbite Gaming. I am the Majestic Snare and this is my disembodied voice. Hello, welcome, it's glad to see you. Hope you're doing well, hope you're not ill, or anyone in your family's ill. I hope everything's okay in current V-word situation that we find ourselves in at the moment. Moving on to something that's not about that and more about Warframe, because Warframe is a game that I play a lot of. So I wanted to just go over a couple of things. The title of this video is probably going to be something like The Problem with Warframe and Why I Love It. It's slightly clickbaity, but not. I do want to say there is a problem, but it's a bit of a highbrow problem rather than the latest release of Scarlet Spear that everyone's been dicking on, including myself. I did have a bit of a moan about it. But I wanted to talk about the problem with Warframe. I think it comes down to the split of enjoyment you get at different stages in your Warframe career. Certainly, I think you have a bit of a bell curve that goes, starts off low, goes up high, and then comes back down again. In enjoyment factor, I think certainly because the top of that bell curve is so high, it can only go one way, and that's back down again. But I think it suffers. It's not an arc. It's not an exponential rise. It's nothing like that. So what I mean by this, I'm talking nonsense. I get that. Stay with me, okay? Sit down, stay there, and stay with me. So, when you're a new player, okay, the start of the bell curve, it's incredibly difficult to get to know the game, get involved, understand where things are, how to get stuff, how things work, and you kind of need to be mentored as you come into the game. The tutorial element is quite bare bones, but there is a wiki, but it's not really pointed at because it's probably not official, etc, etc. So getting into the game and learning about the game is difficult. In that first third of your experience with Warframe, that element turns out to be a lot more difficult because you'll find something, you'll be like, okay, here's a weapon, I want to get this weapon. And you'll be like, right, I need to get those things to make the weapon, but I need to go over there to get those things. And I can't get there yet, so I've got to do these other things, and it becomes a spider's web of things to get to the one point you need to get to farm the stuff you need over and over again to get the stuff to make the weapon you want. And understanding how that works if you don't have the access to all those points can be tricky. The point of it's a free-to-play game is true, but I think to really be a collector, you're going to have to spend money on plat, or spend plat. You can get it in-game by trading, but for some people on consoles, it's almost impossible to trade. I say impossible. By hearsay, I think it's more difficult than doing it in PC land. But having not ever played it on the PS4, or tried to trade on the PS4, I don't really know how difficult that is. I've just heard about it, and that's honest truth. So you can get those platinum points or platinum to actually give yourself slots to store weapons and stuff. And so it's not really a free-to-play game if you want to go to the ends of the earth, but it's certainly free-to-play for your initial experience. So, you can cycle things around, you can lose stuff, but if you're a collector, big problem. So as you're going into the game, the story starts to unfold. You get the story, which is one of the best I've ever played in a video game. I'd honestly say that. The kind of the big mission everyone does point to, called the Second Dream, that really gives you such a boost and it gets you right in the feels. It's strong. It's a fantastic turning point, and people refer to it as ending the tutorial. And that's probably about between 50 and 100 hours in, depending how you play, maybe more, maybe less. So that's your peak. That's top of the bell curve. But then, as time goes on, the returns start to dwindle. You're focusing in on certain things and having to grind to get that one particular thing. You can't just get things by proxy and being in the right area. So the enjoyment doesn't dwindle, but it goes down from that huge peak that you've gone up to. You've been rising up to this crescendo, and then it starts to fall away. So when you reach that kind of point where I am, which I think I'm maybe four-fifths, maybe more, along that journey, and I'm heading back down again quite strongly, you get the problem that DE has with the veterans and the end game posse, which is where we're screaming for more content constantly as players, saying, we've done all the things, we've played it lots, it's nice, but give us more stuff. Do you then talk about what they're going to be doing, and then it takes a long time for it to come out? And unfortunately, in the recent times, a lot of those new things coming out are broken, or we're testing and beta testing the actual mechanics of the new modes or new gameplay mechanics and whatnot. And that's fine in a way because you kind of get used to it, but over the last, I don't know, 18 months to 2 years, it's felt like a lot of that stuff has come out and there's been no real acknowledgement that it's broken cleanly to say, oh yeah, sorry guys, that we fucked up there, we should have done that. So the problem with Warframe is the fact that you do have this bell curve. Now I don't think any game really deviates from that too much. You start off, it's good fun, so you might have higher points on some of these bell curves, more like a cliff, but you have the rise to go, oh this is amazing. You get to the kind of crescendo or the midpoint where you're really enjoying everything. It's not too hard, it's not too easy, it's perfectly matched to you. There's lots of stuff to collect, do. It feels like there's so much value for money, and then it starts to dwindle. And that dwindling is the part that I think annoys most of the gamers and sees a lot of the gamers leave, a lot of the Tenno actually leaving. So I think the problem with Warframe is the expectation. You have an expectation that it's going to rise up and be amazing, and then it just disappears, and it kind of feels like it just, okay, well, where's the next big amazing thing? You know, the story quest isn't just one amazing story quest, it's a couple, but Second Dream for me was the best one. The ones after, some are okay, some are interesting, but it's not kind of, wow, fuck, there's none of that. And I was hoping that as time goes on, certainly with the introduction of the space battles with Railjack under the Empyrean update, where you could actually have a 4-man crew running a spaceship, shooting, you know, enemy ships and dealing with off-ship objectives. All of that was going to be amazing. You're going to link up with squads on the ground, and then we're going to be connecting to you and helping you out. That's become a separate game instance for the next few weeks, you know, and that kind of stuff just stings because it wasn't ready, it was broken. And as a experienced, you know, close to being veteran, I'm nowhere near it really, but I've got about just under 2,000 hours in the game. That's quite a lot, isn't it? But you know, from that perspective, I've earned my stripes. I've played a lot, and it just feels like that's not the right way to do things. It feels like it's not ready. So yeah, that's the problem. But the other part of the title, I still fucking love it, and that should hopefully put into perspective how much enjoyment you can get from the game if I'm being that shitty about the ending part or the end journey and it's still being amazing. Honestly, I do believe that. You know, for all of its problems and people getting annoyed at the top end, the upper echelons of Warframe culture, and people moaning about things being broken, and you know, we're not paying for it. Well, maybe some of us are, but certainly all the guys that maybe partnered get this stuff now and again for free, don't they? So, you know, most people getting involved in the actual new game modes, you know, it's just another addition. It's not a paid for update. So, personally, I know it's broken and it's annoying, frustrating, but I am invested. I have invested a lot of time, a fair bit of money into, you know, my own plat reserves, but I do really think it's worth playing. I've always enjoyed my time with Warframe from the very first go, and found this new world that was completely an open book to me, that I could learn about, that I could play with friends, and you know, I won't lie, get me through some particular times. It's been one of those games that I've always returned to and played again and again, and I can always switch it on, you know, half an hour, switch it off, or I can switch it on for 10 hours and still feel the same about, you know, okay, I've achieved something, I've done something, I've had some fun. So that's my view on the problem with Warframe and why I bloody well love it. So I hope that's been helpful. It was a bit of a brain fart, but I think it's the best brain fart I've had in some time, from my own particular opinion. So guys, thank you for watching. If you do want to leave us a comment down below about your feelings about what the problem with Warframe is. Let me know down in the comments. Please like and subscribe and all that good stuff. It does help out a great deal. But most of all, in these current trying times, please take care of yourselves. Try not to put yourself in unnecessary danger. Stay at home. Look after your family. Tell people that you love them. And I'll catch you again soon. Okay, love you. Bye-bye. Stay healthy.